Hello, Year 5 and 6. Welcome back to Tuesday's reading tutorial. Our reading tutorial today has a WALT that is to answer literary retrieval and inference questions. They are, as you all know by now, I will go over this so quickly because I know you all know this. Literary retrieval questions, they're the ones where the exact answer can be found in the text. The inference questions, they're the ones where it is asking you why things are the way they are. You have to use your inference skills, your detective skills to find the clues and the evidence to support your opinions. So it's Tuesday, the 23rd of June. Let us get on because there's quite a bit to read in today's lesson. So just as you're used to, I'd like you to read each page, please. And then when you've done that, when you've paused the video and read the page, start the video up again. And there are going to be questions based on each slide, well, each page actually, of this chapter. So if you pause the video here, read over page 111, chapter 15, and then I will go over the question with you. Okay, pause the video, start it back up again when you've done that. Okay, lovely. So question 1 and 2, and these are literal, these are actually inference questions. They are somewhere in between the two, I would say, because you can find the answers in the text, but it does require you to use your own thinking a little. So, question 1. Why was Cameron bouncing up and down in the car? So pause the screen, find the answer, write that one down on your paper for me. So question 1, why was Cameron bouncing up and down in the car? And question 2, which you can also pause the video to find the answer in the text or on the PDFs if you're using those. Why does Cameron briefly think that his house must be on fire? All the answers can be found on page 111. Okay, hopefully you've now got those answered, so we'll move on to the next 2 pages. Same again, please. Read through, pause the video whilst you're reading through, and then restart the video for the questions. Okay, and the question for these 2 pages. Question 3, which animal does Cameron say the photographers remind him of? And then question 4, again, pause the screen for these 2 so you can read through the text or go to the PDFs. What is the name of the police officer that helps Cameron and his parents walk safely to their house? And these 2 are literal retrieval questions. The exact answers are there for you to find. Okay, hopefully everybody's done that and are ready for the next page. So pause the screen, read over the text, restart the video for the questions. Lovely. The questions are question 5, and these are inference questions. Why did the police need to send in reinforcements? And question 6, why does Cameron suddenly change his opinion about whether or not he would want to be famous? So pause the screen, read over, or go to your PDF and read over the 2 pages to find the answers to those 2. When you've done that, start the video again. Brilliant work, thank you very much. Next 2 pages then, pause the video, read over them. You know the routine by now. Okay, and the questions for these 2 pages. Why does Mum ask if she is talking Martian to the second caller? And question 8, why does everyone look at Cameron when Marlon arrives outside? 2 inference questions for you there. Okay, and when you've done that, final page for you. Have a read over that, and the question you're thinking about the answering of is, why do you think Cameron lied about being tired? So a final question for you there. Okay, when you've done that, and make sure you pause the video here until you've done all 9 questions, but when you have done all 9 questions, I have got the answers to them for you to go through and self-mark these. So, question 1 and 2 asked you, why was Cameron bouncing up and down in the car? And why does Cameron briefly think that his house must be on fire? So do not listen to these answers until you've got these two written down. But when you have, we've got the section here. So Cameron, stop bouncing up and down. I caught Dad's grin via the inside mirror. You're going to ruin the car. Aren't you glad to be home? Aren't you excited? So the reason Cameron's bouncing up and down is because he's excited about finally getting to go home. He probably never thought, or there was a chance that he might never see his home again. So he's bouncing up and down in the car because he's incredibly excited about going home. Question 2, why does he briefly think that his house must be on fire? Well, that's because of the crowds of people. So there are so many people crowding around his house. He thinks something bad must have happened, like his house having burnt down. He doesn't realize they're there to see him. So the answer to that, number 2, is because of the crowds that are gathering around his house. Question 3 and 4, the answers. Which animal does Cameron say the photographers remind him of? They remind him of sharks being fed. If you've just put sharks, that's fine. If you put sharks being fed, even better. And question 4, what is the name of the police officer? It's Sergeant Dexter. Now, I'm going to be really mean here. Check your spelling of that. If you've spelt it wrong, no mark. If this was a reading paper, they'd sometimes be that strict on you. So make sure you're spelling it right when it is written down in front of you. Question 5 and question 6. Why did the police need to send in reinforcements? Well, when they saw how big the crowds were, they realized they needed more people. So that's why they sent in reinforcements, because of how big the crowds outside the house were. Question 6, why does Cameron suddenly change his opinion? Well, because he's seen them surrounded by bodyguards and thought it must be fun. But when he's going through the crowds himself, he finds it quite scary and horrible. So he changes his mind because he thought it used to look fun, but now he's done it himself. He realizes it's actually very scary and very unpleasant being surrounded by so many people. He even uses the word terrifying. Okay, question 7 and question 8. Why does Mum ask if she is talking Martian? Well, she asks if she's talking Martian because the people keep ringing and keep ignoring her when she says that she doesn't want to talk to them and to go away. So she asks if she's talking Martian because she's being ignored, almost as though she's speaking another language. So if you put something about her being ignored, or them not listening, or them not understanding, then that would be okay. You could give yourself a tick. Why does everyone look at Cameron when Marlon arrives? So this one's inference. It doesn't give us an answer, but everyone looks at Cameron. The policeman looks at Cameron because Marlon is saying that he's Cameron's best friend. But Mum and Dad look at Cameron when Marlon arrives because they know that Cameron feels betrayed by Marlon. So they don't know how he'll react. So if you put anything about him being upset with Marlon, him feeling betrayed by Marlon, not knowing how he'll react, any of those things, any of those 3 things would get you the tick. And finally, why do you think Cameron lied about being tired? He lied about being tired because he just wanted some time alone. He wanted to get away so that he could think about how he's going to deal with Marlon. So if you put that he wanted some time alone, he wanted some space, or he wanted to think about what he would do about Marlon, give yourself a tick. Okay, that is the end of Tuesday's reading tutorial. Very well done. Do send me your work in if you're doing this from home. Do show your work to your teacher if you're doing this in school. And I will see you again tomorrow for Wednesday's tutorial. But for now, goodbye.